Hey guys, this is Harry with UBR Tech, and today's video is going to be how to disassemble and clean a M&P Shield magazine. You can see I have an 8-rounder here and a 7-rounder. Essentially they're going to break down the same way, but I figured since I have both of them here, I could just show you how they break down. So the things that you're going to need are some type of CLP. Again, you're going to need just a little amount of that. Also, you're going to need some type of tool to help you break down the magazine. This is a cleaning tool that I use that helps me get into those hard to reach areas. So you'll need something like that, and also a paper towel that does not leave any lint behind. You could use a rag, but the same thing, you don't want a rag that leaves a lot of lint behind. These are optional. These are called snap caps. This is what I prefer to use because it's much safer. Once you put everything back together, I like to cycle these through the handgun just to make sure that everything operates correctly. My opinion is it's worth the investment just because it's much safer than using live ammo. I guess let's get started. Here's the 7-rounder, and you can see that little button right there. That's what we have to push in order to release this cap here. So what we're going to do is take our tool, push this in just like that. You're going to feel it spring loaded. You can probably hear it too. So it's spring loaded. Once you push it in, then you could take your thumb and push on this black plate, and you're going to push it forward in that direction. So push in, and then once you have that, then push it forward. Now as you can see, it's already starting to slide off, so you could take whatever you're using to push that button in off. And what you're going to do is you're going to push forward again, but I like to keep my thumb over this open area because this is a spring in here and it's spring loaded. So as you're pushing this forward, this spring could shoot out. There you go. And you're also going to have this little plastic piece right here that's going to slide out like that. Put that aside. Now that we have that apart, the first thing we should do is take our rag, and you can, since this is a pretty large rag, you can break this into 2 pieces. We're going to do another half of a half, just like that. We're going to stuff this paper towel into the magazine, just like this, with the tool. And once you're in there, you're just going to move it all around, just like this. Just going to try to clean all of the sides of the magazine. Again, it doesn't have to be perfect. This is just something that you do like every 6 months, depending on how much you go shooting. I don't normally do this a lot. Like I said, every 6 months to 12 months, depending on how much I've actually shot this gun. And then once you feel as though you got most of it, and you can see there's a lot of junk that came out of there. And then what you could do is turn that inside out and give it one more pass. I'm taking the paper towel and I'm using this part that actually hooks on, and I'm basically pushing down and I'm rubbing it like this. And then same thing, now I'm pushing the paper towel downward this way, and I'm getting the opposite side. And then what you want to do is the same thing with the sides here and here. So you're going to put it in there and you're going to push down, back and forth, just like this. Flip it over, go feed it in there, just like this. Push down, and that's it. Basically, that's what you want to do. And when you pull this out, you should see that I got pretty much everything out. It's pretty clean. It's not that bad, actually. And again, you can look in there And if you see something that is really bad, you could take another pass. Once that's done, wipe down the excess that's on the spring, just like this. And once you're done, what I like to do is take a little bit of the CLP, put on my fingers, just like that. Now again, this is probably too much, but what we're going to do is we're going to wipe a lot of this off. This is just to coat the spring with CLP, and then what that'll do is it'll help take off any of the excess fouling and stuff like that. Just like this. And then put that aside, take the hand with the oil, rub these pieces as well, and make sure that you're trying to get all of the areas. So this way what that'll do is, again, same thing, break up any of the fouling that's on there, and then that'll sit for a few minutes while we do the other piece. Same thing. And then I like to take the rest of the oil and rub the outside of the magazine, just like that. So now I let it sit for a few minutes, and then I'll come back and then I wipe everything off. But to speed the process up, I'll just start wiping things off now. So first thing we did was the spring, wipe off the excess. And again, it doesn't have to be perfect because having a little bit of oil is not going to kill this thing. So again, just wipe it down. Make sure you have a very light coating of oil in there. Next thing we do is wipe this down. Again, does not have to be perfect because you're eventually going to have to clean this thing again. So it's not a big deal if it doesn't look perfect. And that for me is good enough. Put that down, same thing for this. This is the bottom plate, and this is the outside bottom plate. So wipe this down, and that is basically it. And then take your magazine and wipe this down. Now that we've wiped everything down and everything's clean, it's time to put everything back together. The first thing we're going to do is we're going to take this piece right here and we're going to put it back into the magazine. So how that goes in is just like this, where this part is narrowing, right? We're going to put this part in just like that, and it falls right in. If it doesn't fall in, most likely you're putting it in backwards. So you can see it's in there, looks good. Okay, now this is where it gets a little tricky if you've never done this before, but it's not that bad. It's fairly simple. I'm going to try to explain this as best as I can. So this is the last piece you put on, but I want to make sure you guys understand exactly how you're going to put this back on. So you can see these little notched out parts right here and here. So what you're going to do is those two notches are going to slide on underneath here, this little metal piece right along here, and this piece right along here. So I'm going to show you what it looks like without putting the spring in. Once I show you how to get it on, we'll put the spring and everything back together just like normal. So there you can see the one notch over there and the other one right here. We're going to put this down and underneath. See how it's going underneath that metal piece? That's how it's going to go, and that's how it locks on. See, it's not coming off. So that's how it stays on. And then you're going to push it all the way back where this is flat like this. Everything's lined up. All right, but we're going to do that with the spring and everything inside. Next, we're going to put the actual spring in, and how that goes in is the tapered part goes in first versus the wide, okay? And also this round part goes where the tapered part of the casing is, just like this. All right, it's a really long spring, so you're gonna have to compress it a lot. But what we do is we take this bottom plate first. These two little circle nubs go towards the spring, and the square basically faces up. And this other little notch right here, this little notch that's sticking up, that is going to fit right into this notch. So again, circle, two circles towards the spring, just like that. And then we're going to compress all the way down, just like this. Let me move my hands so I could show you how the other piece is going to fit. Just like that. See how it fits right into that little notched out area? Then we take the plate. You're going to push this down and then get right underneath these two metal lips, just like we spoke about before. Once you get to this part, all you got to do is see how like this little square is like blocking this plate from going all the way back. What you're going to do is you're going to push down further and see the plate goes above it, keep sliding back, and then boom, everything goes back into place. And now it works. Real quick, I just want to show you, this is the 8-rounder. We just got done doing the 7-rounder. So it's basically the same. The only difference is that you have this little plastic piece here that gives it like the extra pinky extension. And so the only difference here is that you're going to have this piece right above the plate. The only thing I do is I just take this part off, and then I do the same process. You could see it's the same exact thing. See? The same exact thing as the 7-rounder. So the only difference that you're going to have to do for this one is take off this little plastic thing. And then the only thing that you're going to have to do differently is take this little plastic piece and slide this back on, and then slide it all the way down to the bottom, and now it's back together. So just wanted to show you that they're essentially the same. It's just this little plastic thing that you slide off. So no reason to take apart and clean this one on video. Now what I like to do is I like to take the snap caps, load it into the magazine, and cycle it through the gun to make sure that everything functions as it should. Okay, so now that I have the snap caps in there, you could see there's nothing in that barrel, so it is clear. So then what we do is we put this into the gun. We can pull back the slide while pulling down on the slide lock, just like that. So now there is a snap cap in the barrel, and then all I'm going to do is I'm going to rack the slide back. So I'm going to push forward here and pull back here at the same time, and see it shoots that round out, and it's operating fine. So drop the magazine by pushing this button right here, because we don't really need to continue to do that. There's one more snap cap in here. So what we're going to do is do the same thing. We're going to rack the slide and have that last snap cap come out. And that's it. So we successfully disassembled the magazine and cleaned it, put it back together, did a function check on the magazine to make sure it's functioning properly, and we are good to go. So if you have any questions, please put them in the comments. I'll try to get back to you as soon as I can. If you thought the video was helpful, please give it a big thumbs up. If you haven't already, please subscribe. I'm trying to grow my channel, and every subscription helps. Thanks for watching my video, and I'll see you in the next one.